Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Last night, my girlfriend Susan and I went to a concert. We're driving home. We're talking about all kinds of things. And as we're pulling in the driveway, she said, I just want to be able to have enough money that I don't have to worry. And I want to be able to do things that where I don't have to go to work the next day, especially when we do something like this. We can, she can kind of choose when she works or not. And I think that's kind of universal for a lot of us, especially if you're watching this channel, you're probably somebody that feels like that. And I'm going to tell you something. It's time to do something about this now. The situation is not going to get any better. And I'm not saying this as a person that's going to sell you this, 10-step plan to fix everything and make your life great. If I figure one out, I will let you know. But you look at the way the economy's going, you look at a channel like Gary's Economics, which will explain to you how wealth disparity is absolutely killing the economy and how things are going to get worse for normal people. So this is as good as it's going to get right now, especially if you're working a job. And the idea is we've got to do something now. Politically, we can advocate for change, but that's going to happen pretty slowly. And it's in the hands of people that are rich, that are being paid by the rich or financed by the rich. So I wouldn't hold your breath for that change to happen anytime soon because you might die. I'm not saying we don't work towards it, but in the meantime, working towards some way to get yourself in a financial position where you're not dependent upon a job, where you're not dependent upon, one source of income and the economy. And there are tons of side hustles out there. I'm not going to be here to tell you what exactly to do either. I'm mostly telling you, start something. Start doing something. There's a great channel called According to Nicole, and she talks about all kinds of different side hustles and a lot of other great topics as well. So I would go check that channel out as well as Gary's Economics. It's a really good channel. She's a little, a little opinionated, but I like that. The idea is we've got to do something. What that something is may be different for you than it is for me. That's fine. But figure out something, figure out several somethings if you need to, in order to get yourself to the point where you're not dependent upon, one source of income, dependent upon your job, dependent upon whether or not they do well or, not, or decide to just eliminate your position. To get yourself to the point where you're not going to some place that you absolutely hate. Because this morning I was going there. I'm tired. I don't want to have to go to work today. And it's not boo-hoo. It's like, I don't even like the job. I don't even like the job. So that's why I'm working so hard to get out of that and to have, some different ways to get money and make enough money. I don't want my goal for me is not to get rich, just rich enough that I'm not worried about money, just rich enough or, well off enough where I can do the things that I'd really like to do, which for me mostly is to, have some fun with my girlfriend Susan and hang out and do the things that I like to do and not have that be interrupted by really unpleasant work. Finding some things to do that you actually enjoy doing that make money. That's the goal. And if it has to be several different things, great. But, that's for me, this is the goal, putting myself in the position where I'm not, just stuck in this job that I hate and stuck in this rut where I have to work forever. And if I do have to work forever, at least doing things that I really like that I can do on my time, on my terms. And if we go to a concert at night, we get home at 12 o'clock and we're really tired, set up my day the next day. So I don't have to start working, at anything either the whole day or not until a reasonable time, 11. But this is a real deal. This is a real deal. We need to start doing this now. And I don't care if you're 20 or if you're a Gen X like me and, I'm 57, there's some things we need to do now because, we're not everything's not going to be taken care of for us. The world is not a stable place right now. It's definitely not stable financially in the United States and a lot of other countries. And, so the goal is, we can't tear down the entire establishment yet. The ultra rich are really the problem in a lot of cases. And the solution is to get to that point where maybe you're, just the lower rich. And I hate even saying rich, just this idea that, you can pay your bills. You're not worried about it. When something happens, it's not an emergency. You want to go to a concert, you go to a concert, and that sort of thing. You know what I mean? So I'd love to hear your opinion on this, what you think about this, what you have actually done. If you're stuck trying to figure out what to do, because I get that. I get you can be paralyzed by that. And that's why I'm not here telling you, do this. There are things that I'm doing, but you need to find out your own things. And there's plenty of advice out there. There's plenty of help out there. And if I figure something out that I can help you with, that everybody can do, I'll let you know, and I'll probably sell it to you. But it'll be good. Take it easy, kids. Bye.